Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, okay.
Pretty good.
Don't everyone talk all at once?
It seems so empty in here.
Right? It's just you and me, Chris. It's just you and me.
I'll be here.
I didn't tell you.
I'm sorry. That's the void that is my soul. I'll move that over here.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought it felt kind of heavy.
And familiar.
Let me turn off my evanescence real quick.
Turn that shit back on. Did I say you can turn that off? God, they released a new album. It's pretty good.
Right?
Yeah.
It is
After
fucking fire.
I think she's got like a new contract or a new label or something.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's actually able to go through with the creativity that she had in mind for her original songs and all of that. And it is so good.
Like,
it's
is it
amazing.
same style?
More or less, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I will say, oh yeah, that sounds like Evanescence.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
No. All right, guys. It's been a good session.
But yeah, you know. All right. Does anyone want to recap? If they
Recap.
remember. I'm gonna recap you.
Okay.
Those sure are sounds.
I could try. No, I'd need a lot of help. I could try.
I can recap if you would like.
Yes, please.
Okay. So there's a lot of traveling going on. Something about having to move on because dear fucking god, like can we just get out of the town? I don't believe those words were spoken, but they were certainly thought in a very loud inside voice. We did a lot of reading, a lot of bonding, a lot of travel, and then eventually we got to the place where Paige's friend is supposed to live, and someone was sitting in a cart outside of the place where Paige's friend is supposed to live, and they were like, "Oh, fucking finally, you're here!" And we were like, "Are you Paige's friend? What? What? No, the fuck are you talking about? No, you need to save the world." Sorry, what? You're not Paige's friend? Yes, are we not past this? Here, come on, I need to read your cards. Okay. Glancing back at Paige gives pensive shrug, and then we all get uncomfortably accurate readings from a deck. And nobody. Well, there were a couple of people who wanted to be first, several people who wanted to be last, and we ended with some just general uncomfy feelings because there's a lot of truth going on that we don't want to hear.
Speak for yourself. My reading could have been great. I just don't know. Someone's suffering. Good? Maybe? I think someone's gonna find you. Oh! Wait. Yay?
Gotta love not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
I really am under no obligation to love that.
I'm pretty sure you are. Hold on, let me pull up your contract. Oh shit, I wasn't supposed to talk about that one. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway. Let me pull you guys over to a different map. Lady Nice to Laurel, that's pretty much all that happened last session.
It was a lot of traveling.
It was. A lot of traveling,
who needs
a lot
an
of reading.
inspiration?
I
Anyone
don't.
need an inspiration?
Good. Take it.
Holly gets an inspiration.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, last session you all finally made it to the fucking library place where Naomi is meant to be, met Isabella. She led you into her cart with promises of card readings.
I mean, that might as well be candy for our characters, if we're being honest.
Told you that she can't really intervene with anything, but was like, hey, you could probably have my bird if you ask nicely. Anyways. Alright, and we will we'll go ahead and pick up from there. You guys should be back on the library map now.
Yes. So we all carefully pile out of the out of the cart,
The van.
the unmarked van.
So those were interesting.
Gaius, I guess in your mind you would hear, is that common?
Is what common?
Using playing cards to tell someone's future.
I mean,
Guys, those didn't look like any playing cards you've ever seen.
yeah, those weren't playing cards. I think those specifically were foretelling the future. And there are some places that do stuff like that. Haven't really visited any of them till now.
Can we rely upon the reading?
I mean, mine was pretty spot on.
Interesting. Like, that thought drifts into your mind almost like it's just absently, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I getcha. I think you can probably rely upon it. But, I mean, I don't know what yours meant. I don't know what anybody else's meant, really.
Then we are on the same... What's the word?
Page? Yeah.
Yes. I don't understand any of it.
Mm-hmm. You see, when you're on the same page, we're like reading a book.
You stay off of page, you heathens.
Make me!
Listen here, bucko. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So speaking of Paige,
Speaking of Paige, she's nowhere in sight.
Paige, you, maybe we should go inside. Thank you, ma'am, for the readings. We should probably go and just starts walking over to the door.
Yeah, we came here on business to try and figure some things out. And while that was very interesting and helpful, we're hunting down information about a specific thing. And this person is supposed to help us. No offense. I didn't mean that to be offensive.
The crow starts barking at you.
It's a raven.
So, would you like to come with us in the meantime, or would you like to stay and we'll come back, or?
Well, she waves you off as she walks around and jumps back onto top of her cart. You all have fun with your books. I'll wait out here.
Okay.
I've read more than enough.
Fantastic. See you.
See you. 안녕하세요.
Holly will just look at JB and go after you.
Following the group.
Oh,
so-
sit. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh.
Is there like a sign or anything on the door?
A sign?
Yeah, like I don't know, like knock or some shit like that.
No. You do, however, before you walked up under this sort of awning that you're under right now, you did note that on top, in big stone letters across the side of the front wall, it reads, "The Sacred Archives."
Ooh.
Mars is going to knock on the door.
Okay. You knock, and nothing happens.
Is the door locked?
You want to check it?
Sure, Holly will come up and say, can I try the door, Mars?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And Holly will step up and check the door, see if it's open.
Yeah, the door is unlocked.
Holly will open the door and kind of stick their head in.
You open the
Hello?
door.
Hello?
You note that your voice sort of has the tiniest bit of echo, but not quite enough, as the room inside is silent. But you look in and you see shelves upon shelves of books. And not only that, as you glance up, there seems to be like 4 more stories going upwards of bookshelves.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
But I don't see anybody, right?
Oh, there are plenty of people milling about.
Oh. Anybody looking at me that looks like in charge or officious?
No, everyone seems to just be minding their business, looking at books.
Okay. Then Holly will stick her head back out and say, JB, you gotta see this place. It's all just books, like, everywhere.
They creep forward and look over your shoulder. You can see them do the cat thing where like they see something really interesting and their pupils get all big.
Go. Come on. Let's go.
Step back for you.
They'll slink inside after Holly.
Mars takes a small step forward and will poke her hand at the door frame.
Okay.
Does it go through?
Yeah.
Come on, Mars, you can come in.
There's a moment where she like pauses, waits, and then just kind of straightens like, yes, obviously. Brushes her dress off. Maybe we can ask someone where Miss Page went?
True.
Right.
Although, did we check in the cart?
Oh, well, I
yeah,
suppose.
I'll check in the cart just really quickly. I'm just gonna do
Guys, as you're heading out, hold on.
that. Yeah?
Before you boost your way outside.
Mhm.
Everyone with a higher than Mars.
Everyone but
jeez.
Mars.
Let me make sure I'm on the right layer so you can see. Off to the side, over here, you notice Paige standing next to someone who seems to be replacing books onto shelves. They seem to just be happily chatting away.
When you say over here, where were you talking?
Did it not ping?
Over
Up
there.
top,
Okay.
towards here.
Ah, okay. Well, in that case, guy's gonna start going out and notice and go, oh, okay. Actually, should we roll something, or are
Roll
we
something?
just gonna? Are we just gonna notice her, or should we roll perception or something?
Would it just be JB and Emmy that notice her?
No,
It's
everyone. It's
everyone
everyone but Mars.
Gotcha.
Just as you guys are looking around, you just sort of notice them out of your peripheral.
Okay. That's interesting, because my passive perception is 15. Everybody else is
Well, mine
higher.
is 11.
That's what you need.
Oh.
Ah, right. Well, guy's is gonna make his way over.
Mhm. And I will quickly share with you an image.
Emmy's tail is going to curl up around Mars's chin and turn her head towards them.
Well, Emmy, you. Oh, hi, Paige.
And you all see Paige with a let me find her sheet so I can tell you just what she has. A young woman, probably in her early 20s, rather short, around 5'2" with lightly tanned skin and red hair, green eyes. And as I said, she and Paige are sort of happily chatting away, more so this stranger than Paige. But Paige doesn't seem to have any issues with that. And as you say hello, Paige glances over. Hello. You're done with, uh...
Yes. Oh, we're finished. Kind of like glances back at the lady in the cart. We're finished. Thank you so much for your patience. And you are Paige's friend?
The woman stops putting books up for a moment to turn over and glance at you all, smiles brightly, and holds out a hand. Oh, Paige has told me a little bit about you all in the time that you've been, enjoying yourselves in a cart outside. I'm Naomi Marrow. And as she speaks, you hear a soft, purring sound as a black cat jumps down from the top of the bookshelf and lands around Naomi's shoulders. And this, as she laughs a little bit, is Bigby.
Don't be fooled, that's Salem.
Imposter.
Look, man, it's your little brother.
Mars's eyes light up and she gives a small bow. Oh, it's wonderful to meet you, Mr. Bigby. this is, well, I suppose you've already, well, I guess we haven't technically had a proper introduction since you've only been told about us, but, pauses. My name is Mars. Holds out a hand.
And she shakes it.
My name's Holly. It's nice to meet you, Miss Merritt.
Please, I'm not. There's no need for formalities.
Oh, sorry. Naomi?
Yes.
It's good to meet you, Naomi.
You as well. She looks down at the rest of you.
Hello.
If she stares at Emmy or just Gaius?
She will look at everyone.
Got you. Emmy will cock her head and then in her mind say, "Oh, I thought you said there was no need for formalities. I'm Emmy."
As you speak to her, Emmy, her eyes go wide and she gets this brilliant smile and sort of fumbles behind her for a second as you note that she grabs what looks like a little notepad and grabs a quill out of a side pouch and starts writing. Oh, you, and sort of glances up at Mars for a second and then back to you. You can speak telepathically. How long have you been able to do that? Is that just something? I don't believe Phoenix can do that. Are you a Phoenix? And just continues rattling off questions.
Like, I can imagine, like, in her mind, just keeps, like, start trying to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, I have been able to do it as long as I can remember. I do not know if I am a Fennec or not. I think that I am, but I am also many other things.
Like what?
Emmy will cock her head to the side and just start going. A baboon, bear, crocodile, a goat. I believe I've been a wolf, a large ape, a lion, some sort of bird, and others that I am unaware of yet. And a human.
And she enthusiastically writes all of this down. And roll me a perception real quick.
Sure. Sight only or hearing and
Yes,
smelling?
sight.
Gotcha. Give me a second. Perception.
Okay. As she opens her mouth to start talking, you note that seems to have drawn like a small cartoon-esque image of Emmy on the page. So you're human, or you can turn into a human.
Not.
I've never seen a creature that starts out as an animal and moves on to a humanoid. How does that work? Do you?
I am unable to change into a human at will like the others. It's only happened once. Wait, it's happened once, right? I'm not going
Yes.
crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Dog, why are you licking the wall? That's literally a meme. You've become a meme. You're a meme now. Congratulations.
Don't let your memes be dreams, Alita.
Sorry.
You can't tell her what to do.
I'll lick the wall if I want to.
disrespect your surroundings.
Emmy will continue. I woke up in a cage about half a year ago. I have no memory before that of who I was, what I am now. I can change into many different animals, and they are all in my head. The human form only happened once, and it was not by choice, and I have never been able to do it again.
And as you finish speaking, she sort of stutters in her writing and stops and just stares at you, just in awe. That's fascinating.
I would call it annoying, but your passion is appreciated.
Hmm. And then shakes herself as she realizes that she's sort of gotten stuck for a moment and looks over to Gaius and JB. I'm so sorry. You both are?
I'm Gaius.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
JB gives them kind of a short bow. Black Cat, John Brown.
Hmm. It's nice to meet you as well, Black Cat John Brown. So, uh, Paige tells me that you all have questions about something?
Yeah.
Well, technically, we have lots of questions about lots of different things. I don't know if it would be appropriate to. She kind of like glances around to ask those questions in a public forum. If you don't mind, perhaps you have some place more private?
And she studies you for a moment and sort of glances over towards Paige with a curious look, and eventually Paige nods. And that smile regrows on Naomi's face. Right, I can do that. Follow me. And walks up towards the statue.
Oh. Okay.
After you, JB.
And as you all gather around, Naomi will turn towards one of the books that lay on the shelf here and will lift it up. And as she does, you all more feel rather than see this sort of energy shift through you. And as it does, as you look around and you look down at yourselves, it seems as though you're not quite there anymore. As you've become sort of translucent and the world around you has become sort of hazy. And
Can we tell what book? Can we tell what book it was that she picked up?
You can roll me a perception.
Ah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, Gaius, you can tell that.
Ooh.
Oh!
Jesus Christ.
Mars has found her eyes.
Oh, Mars and Gaius. You both can tell that there's specifically a small green book that sort of lies hidden between a couple of stacks. That is very faded on the cover and the spine, so much so you can't even make out a title if there ever was one.
Mm.
And you notice, especially Mars with fucking above 20, that it wasn't so much her lifting the book in its entirety, rather than it seems that the cover portion of the binding lifts a little off of the rest of the book.
Mm.
Oh, that's very clever.
And as soon as she's finished that, and you all have become your translucent states, she walks over to the statue nearest and knocks on the chest armor. And up ahead of you, you see the floor begin to drop down as a set of stairs appears.
Ooh. Secrets. That's cool.
Naomi looks back at all of you and winks and nods for you to follow her as she descends the stairs.
Oh, that's very, very clever.
Mhm. Paige, I like your friend. She's cool.
Paige just stutters out. Oh, I like her too.
Heh.
You all lesbians. Not everything's gay, man. Oh.
I mean, she works in a library.
Listen.
The other one has a traveling shop.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Shop.
One of them has a room that's bigger on the inside. That is probably on an extra planar dimension.
The other one has a cat.
The other one has a cat. Yeah. Yeah.
God damn it. Anyways, you all descend for a while, far underneath the main portion of the library.
So, Naomi, how did you and Paige meet?
Have you been together long?
Oh, well, we met a few years ago. I was traveling, trying to do some last bit of research for my book, and I ended up in what the fuck's the name of that town? Kaimi, and found her shop, and we talked for a while, and she was able to actually point me towards a lot of good information that I could use.
Cool.
And
Oh, she's... She is very helpful, yes.
yes.
What was your book about?
Oh, this and that. Well, my teachers had books on various things, magical creatures and different magical items that had surfaced, and locations and what have you, but I decided to, I don't know, go a little further, I suppose. I wrote up a sort of compendium of different items and places and creatures and all of that, but I also wanted to tell a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, different interesting things that happened in my travels, I threw them in there, and there's a bit of narrative as well. One time, I was traveling, trying to get back to Mordenkainen's sanctum, and uh, ran into this woman. Uh, her name was Irina, and we ran into these talking wolves that spoke quite the way that you do, Emmy.
Emmy just nods.
Maybe it's more of the And she like pauses, and, like lowers her voice, kind of like half whispers behind her hand. Maybe it's more of the people with the numbers.
The telepathic wolves.
Well, yes. Well, I'm not necessarily saying that all telepathic animals are related to each other. That would be rather absurd. That, although it would be very convenient, it's not very likely at all. But if they were part of the same experiment, or not, it was like pauses, glances over at Naomi. If you just stop talking.
No, I think that's a great idea.
Oh, well, I don't believe they were part of an experiment. I think something had happened to a wizard that had lived in the area, and he died in quite a tragic way, and his magic ended up being absorbed by the animals in some way.
Oh.
Huh.
Oh, so very different. Okay.
Were the animals telepathic before they absorbed?
No, they were just regular wolves. They did, however, gain the ability to use, to make tools and traps and things of that nature, and
How
Could
horrifying.
they perform spells like the magician had?
not in a regular sense.
Okay.
So in an irregular sense?
So it wasn't like they just absorbed his power and could do the same things he could do.
No.
That's good, at least. Spellcasting wolves. Huh.
No.
Emmy just slowly looks at Gaius.
Instead, they were more like, I suppose, dragons in that sense. They had
how even more
breath
horrifying.
How were they like dragons?
Well, the breath weapons. There was one named Bolt who could shoot lightning from their mouth.
Oh, okay.
Another had fire and things of that nature.
Wow. Emmy, you can't shoot fire from your mouth, right?
Please tell me you can't.
That'd be really cool if you could.
Can you?
If I drink this potion, she touches her backpack with her nose.
Ah,
But not naturally, no.
okay.
Okay, I don't think that counts.
How do you know the wolf didn't drink a potion?
Well, we had stayed with them for quite some time, and I stayed a while after Irina had left to study and speak with them a bit more, and I don't believe I'd ever seen them drink from bottles.
I mean, that would have required a lot of potions.
Well, I suppose it depends on how many times they use the breath weapon. Still,
Yeah.
regardless, if it was by potion or by natural ability, that is quite impressive. That something that they were just normal wolves, right?
She nods.
Did
Well, not normal after the wizard died, I suppose. That was a bit
Oh well, yes, that does
atypical.
definitely change things quite a bit.
But, yes.
no, I was
And
wondering if there were other breath weapons we could get for Emmy. In potion form in future, sorry.
oh, well, I mean, I suppose that's a possibility. The foundations and miracles of alchemy are never ending.
Emmy just
you-
seems to be soaking all this in.
Mars looks down at Emmy. Would you want different breath weapons? Like, I wasn't incredibly advanced in alchemy, but I can certainly see if I can try and make some things for you.
I am. Sorry. You'll understand when I say this, but this is what she says. I am very small, and I am not very dangerous in this form. Anything that can help me protect the pack is welcome.
I need no money.
Why I couldn't say it with a straight face? I was like, oh god. But that's basically the gist. She's like, I am very small. I need help.
Of course, yes. We'll see what we can do. I'll have to brush up on my I'll need to figure out what's useful in the area. Just kind of like chews on a thumbnail, just like thinking for a moment.
Mm-hmm. And as you all have started sort of chatting amongst yourselves about that, she's kind of continued on with her own story to anyone who's still listening. Oh, but I mean, that wasn't the only sort of things that were written. I also, well, sort of as a minor side plot, I suppose. Irina and I shared quite a few stories. She told me about this, a couple of friends of hers. They were very interesting.
Oh?
More interesting than talking wolves?
With breath
Considering the things that they had done, I think so.
weapons? What kind of things have they done? What's cooler than talking wolves with breath weapons?
Well, one of them was a talking, and as she gets to the point, you all exit off of the staircase onto the floor of what looks like another large-scale library area.
That happens
Only
to look
this
exactly
time-
like the first floor.
Only this time, the books seem much older. Everything is very pristine down here. And if you look up, the shelves look like they go on forever.
That's a lot of
Oh,
books.
we're here. Welcome. She sort of jumps excitedly a little bit to the archives.
Can we look at these books?
Oh, and she quickly glances around the area. Technically, I'm not meant to have anyone down here. And only archivists are really allowed to touch anything, seeing as nobody else is really allowed. I suppose that sort of speaks for itself.
That's fine. I was just wanted to know what the rules were.
What if we're very careful and you just mage hand?
Unfortunately, some of these tomes and scrolls and what have you are very old, predating some of these kingdoms old, that even an improper touch in any way could destroy them.
So this is a look, do not touch situation.
Very much so. If you have any questions about anything, just let me know. And I'll see what I can do.
Holly will lean over to JB. If you have any questions, I'll ask them for you.
If only JB was here.
They went BRB just really quickly.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
It's like,
Guys is still thinking to himself, man, it's just... I don't like the idea of just normal woodland creatures being able to breathe fire or shoot magic. I just don't like it. Next thing you know, Squirrel... Squirrel obsessed with nuts.
I mean... It would make hunting a lot more
Dangerous.
competitive?
Okay, but what if you gotta eat?
You could
Didn't say
always
it was-
try finding a new food source.
Uh-huh.
There's berries and fungus. Well, not all fungus. You have to be very careful about the types that you eat because some of them are extremely poisonous and some of them are hallucinogenics. Some of them do have medicinal purposes, though, but there aren't actually a lot that you can eat.
Great.
Eggs.
Great.
You could eat eggs.
Yeah.
Milk. Cheeses.
Milk, cheese, which come from creatures as well, which if they can cast magic would be a very big no-no.
Well, I mean, they might be kind enough to allow you to have it. Maybe it's a mutually beneficial relationship. You give them money or something.
I knew a bush who gave out berries. She was very nice.
Uh-huh.
Her name was Jane. I haven't actually seen her in a very long time. I hope she isn't. Pauses. Eyes go wide. Hand goes over mouth. Oh, I hope she's not back at the town.
Uh-oh.
Meanwhile, back at the town.
Guys.
Welcome back, JB. Holly offered to, yeah.
Oh, this is a look, but do not touch book situation. And Naomi would be very willing to answer any questions we may have. So Holly just kind of leaned over and said, if you have any questions, let me know, I'll ask for you.
And real quick, just because this is a thing that's relevant to JB's interests, you all descended the stairs for quite a while before coming out on another library floor, it seems. This one, very pristine, seems to go on forever, both to the sides and up, as these shelves just continue stretching. And so many of the books and tomes and scrolls and all of that on the shelves seem ancient. And also, as you all have been talking about random creatures spewing fire and doing magic, Naomi seems to have continued writing, watching you all.
Oh, goody.
JB will lean over to Holly and say very quietly, I would like to know if we are permitted to read the book.
So, Naomi, if a book were open, would we be able to allowed to read it still? Or would you open a book so that we could read it? That way we're not touching it?
She takes a long moment to think about it. That might depend on the book. A lot of this is ancient, hidden knowledge and things that are long forgotten. Some of such for a reason. So if it is not on the no-no list, then I could possibly work something out.
It's the no-no list.
Thank you. So Holly will lean back to JB and say, okay, maybe like 2 or 3 books, as long as they're not like on the adult only list.
Oh my
Adults
god.
only?
That's what she means the no-no list means.
No
JB
reading the
stares
porn.
blankly back at you. Does that mean that you have to look at them?
No. Anybody could read it. I presume. I mean, if you found something that you wanted to read, I'm sure we could figure something out.
You see them gaze longingly at the shelves.
Are we supposed to be looking for specific books? Are these arranged by subject or topic or...
I think she brought us here to speak privately about the matters that we came here about.
Naomi nods.
Right.
This is about as private as we can get.
Fantastic.
So, where would we like to start? Mars?
Yeah, Mars, where would you like to start?
Let's
I
start
mean,
at the very beginning.
Not putting the pressure on you at all, but where should we start?
Oh.
I didn't mean it that way.
I did mean it that way.
Well, I mean, there's quite a lot to go over. We should maybe, I guess it depends on which topic where we want to start with, as there are several that are very different in priority as well as subject matter. And if we simply went through chronologically, it would take a very long time and it would get very confusing. So we should pick what we want to focus on. What do you think? Not putting this shit off at all.
Well, I have a lot of questions about what magic was used to create Aldern. I also want to know about the Sahedron ritual. Can you like harvest greed from a soul? And I think we should also talk about 20.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. That would be a very good
That would
idea.
be important. We should talk about Emmy. You have something to talk about?
Yes, but my concerns can wait. We'll put it at the bottom of the list.
Okay. Oh, do you have anything on religion and religious stuff? Because, I mean, I have my own personal reasons for that kind of topic, but we've also been running into some kind of 7-pointed star thing quite a bit, quite often.
Naomi watches you all with a slight smile for a moment and sort of glances up and then to each side at the never-ending rows of books. We might have something.
Oh, good. Yeah. So, where do we want to start as far as all of that?
Let's maybe start with the Sahedron ritual. The 7-pointed star thing we keep coming across.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's the mistress of the 7 is somehow tied into that star thing.
All right.
Mars will take the 7-pointed star coin out of her bag. Hold it out to Naomi.
And Naomi will gently pick it out of your hand. And we'll look it over. And start walking, just looking at it. Not in any particular direction. Where did you get this?
If I remember correctly, that one was found in the was it under the glassworks or under the thistle top?
Wasn't this top, and that's what we used to get into the secret area?
Right, yeah. With the Barghest.
It was in a mansion that seemed to have been it wasn't technically a mansion in completion, but it was the framework was that it was inhabited by that doesn't matter. It was under a house in a like pauses and takes a breath. It was in a house that had been occupied by forces that had been gathered by a once Azamar, technically also part tiefling, I believe, who had forsaken her tiefling half in order to take vengeance on the town in which she had once lived. And it was, it led into a secret passage.
I think it was she was forsaking Azamar half.
Yes, she wanted to embrace her demon self.
Is that not what I said? Okay.
Yeah,
No,
you said the opposite. Yeah.
Whoop.
She was going away from the light, embracing the dark. And she wanted to kill everybody.
Yeah.
She was very upset, and to be quite honest, the way that it was described to us, she had every right to be. I mean, the way that they were treating her was extremely... Pauses. Anyways, so there was a large ceremonial area, it seemed, and there was also a barghest down there, and she will just like describe the full like layout of the area and the statues and such. Actually, she has some pictures from that, like the mosaic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll just start flipping through her sketchbook to those pages, just like, it's here somewhere. Yes. So there was a type of, I suppose, a fresco, is what it's called, of a mountain with a face carved into it, underneath, and she'll like start showing like the different pictures. And there was a ghost there that seemed to be stuck in a loop. He was speaking in um, I don't know if you're familiar with Undercommon.
She stops and turns to look at you. With what?
Right, of course. So he just like goes back. He was saying something about is upon us, but I command you to remain, witness my power, how alasness, petty wrath, is not a flash compared to my strength. Is not but a flash compared to my strength. Take my final work to your graves, and let its memory be the last thing you. And then it starts over. I don't know if that name means anything to you, or if you would be able to search by it. I'm not sure how your index works here.
All right. And Control F.
Mm-hmm.
As I actually had to Control F the doc to find a last name.
She just fucking brings out a little wand, waves it, Control F,
Control F.
then says something out loud. Bing, 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 bing. I love that.
I can't.
Accio index.
Speaking of, funnily enough, as you finish speaking, Mars, she holds the coin in one hand and then holds up her other hand, and a scroll appears. And she opens it up, and with what you can see of it, it seems blank until she pulls out her quill again and says, Google. Shut the fuck up. You said it was called a Sahedron ritual?
Yeah, that's what the note said.
Mm-hmm.
Sahedron ritual.
Alright. And she will begin writing that on the paper. And close it. And once she does, it disappears. And a small square, almost like the size of an index card, piece of parchment appears in her hands. She reads what's on it. Oh, that's... Looks up at all of you.
Is that one of the no-no books?
More like a no-no zone.
Ah.
Interesting.
And she looks around again and seems, as she looks down the hallway to the right, you all notice an older man in long red robes who seems to be scribing something at a desk down there.
Oh shit.
And she seems to perk up for a moment. This way, quickly. And leads you all off.
Oh, right, yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay.
All right. So, she leads you through a sort of maze of endless shelves. She eventually stops and turns to all of you. All right. Just how important is this information for you?
Important enough, I'd be willing to risk my life in exchange.
Extremely.
Guys points
We
at
don't-
Ollie.
I don't have much else of value other than that.
We don't know the full breadth of what is to come, but we do know that everywhere we go, this, and she points to the coin, keeps cropping up and directly in tied to horrible. She takes a steadying breath. Terrible crimes. And it is something that has to be stopped.
Do you all know anything else about whatever this is, or anything related to it?
Well, we know, we know the Mistress of Seven was working with Aldern, Foxglove. They talked briefly about his being reborn, and then that he should remember how the Sahedrin ritual works, and she gave him a list of people to mark, and they must be marked before they die, otherwise the greed in their souls will go to waste.
To clarify, being reborn in this context specifically means being turned into a ghoul.
Right.
But that's it, though. Just some person, this Aldern, who's turned into a ghoul using the ritual.
Well, there is more. The woman, Noalia, and she'll turn to the picture of Noalia in her sketchbook. She, I believe, was looking to sacrifice the town that she was born in, and she was using temples that were connected to this. It's she pauses and she looks at everyone, just kind of not quite searching for permission, but more solidarity. And eventually she looks back at Paige. Do you know of an island off to the east? It is in a landlocked sea, cut off from the rest of the world.
Yes, I believe there's only one island in nearby waters. What about it?
I don't know how exactly, but I believe that these acts of violence and these spells, their purpose is in direct tie to that island. Specifically, the being on that island.
The being?
She nods. It's worshipped as a god there. And I believe that it is connected. And she pulls out the book from her bag, the Kalos's ruler, to this.
She looks at the book for a good long minute. And then you see her face shift. I've seen that book before.
You have?
She nods. I might have perused a bit when I first became an archivist.
And?
And, with one final glance around, you should all follow me.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
And
Great.
she leads you once more through the maze of bookshelves and endless halls until eventually you get to another set of stairs leading down. Here we go. And she leads you all down. And this time, as you're descending, it seems to go on even longer than the first time. Just endless stone wall surrounding you as you descend. And the further down you go, the darker the stone gets, and the more cracked it becomes in places. Until eventually, after some unknown period of time, that's the wrong bit of music.
You'll get it.
Okay.
I hoped it was a comforting library for a minute.
A comforting library? In my campaign, it's less likely than you think.
I think the fuck not.
I mean, to somebody who spent like several years in school working in the library, that's gonna be hard.
Hmm. Yeah, but there's the college library, and then there's the college library basement.
Yeah.
And we're in the sub basement of that basement right now.
Precisely. Eventually,
Damn.
you all come out of this endless staircase to a large room. Not quite as large as the area you were just in, but still quite impressive. Again, endless shelves. These ones look less taken care of. The area in and of itself seems less pristine. You can see cobwebs that are scattered here and there, as though no one really seems to come down here too often. You know, the dust on the shelves and on the floor. And Naomi speaks up. This is well, everything that we have in the archives is very ancient knowledge, but this area predates all of that. Um, all of this comes from the First Empire. And I don't expect any of you to know what that is. That information was lost for a reason.
Would that be a history check?
Yes.
I will not even try it then.
I'll give it a shot. Fuck it. Why not?
Okay.
Shit.
Mars.
Mhm.
You, in your lesson, recall your trainer teaching you about anything that she had learned about the old empire. Of when a certain someone was in ruling. Of when the true god reigned. Until he was cast down. In all of the little itty-bitty kingdoms in the area that you have now formed, long before he was released on Moloch.
Mars kind of like starts petting Emmy, trying to like calm herself down. Probably pets just a little too hard.
Like a good comfort animal, Emmy just takes it.
Like a champ.
Mm-hmm.
The Empire, where do I even... Okay, so, the kingdoms that we have now, Revelia and Damaris and Dragaris and all of those aren't quite as old as most common folk and what have you would like to believe. In fact, they only really formed about 1,000 or so years ago. but approximately 500 years prior was the end of what's known as the Ancient Empire. The Ancient Empire was ruled by an entity, something very powerful that dethroned the gods themselves. It reigned for millennia until finally the gods grew powerful enough that they were able to gain, or rather grant, certain abilities to specific individuals who became the saviors of the empire. I can't quite remember exactly, but I believe that this entity had done something that had interfered with the gods' abilities to do anything themselves, which led to them looking towards mortals to lend aid. When the empire fell, the saviors and a strong band that they had gathered with them forced the entity into some sort of imprisonment and hid it. And the whereabouts were kept secret, taken to their graves. But it's possible that the information succeeded through bloodlines and close relations. She looks towards Mars.
Does she know the story about the council?
Does Naomi know?
No, does Mars?
Of
Like
how everything started?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would Mars would know a sort of beautified version of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So she just kind of doesn't quite meet her gaze. I don't believe that it was necessarily kept or passed down. But it has been rediscovered. It's on the island, I believe.
And with what you've said about something being treated as a god, I assume it's no longer imprisoned.
Well, I'm She thinks for a moment and then just sighs and shakes her head. I don't know that it's necessarily released, but it is there. I think that these rituals are meant to let it out.
Oh, that's, shit. Um, right, well, and she, notices that the piece of paper is still in her hand. Right, where, and wanders her way over towards one of the shelves. And gingerly, almost hesitantly, pulls a book from the shelf. And this book is small, probably little more than like 30 pages or so.
I don't know, that seems like it would be pretty big. I mean, that's 30 medium-sized humans. Sorry.
I'm sorry?
Page turners. The
Wow.
book is made of 30 page turners.
I'll see myself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Emmy jumps to Black Cat's
Okay.
shoulder.
You came back too early. You can leave again. I'm just kidding. Oh, shit.
God damn it.
It's okay.
Wow.
I was just
come-
kidding.
You come back to find Emmy on someone else's shoulder.
Is it Geis's again? Do I win the lottery?
Yeah.
Please. I already said this. Keep
Yeah.
up.
Shit.
But you hear the windows powering down noise from Mars.
Oh my god.
You joke.
Anyways. Pulls the small book off the shelf.
Yep.
And blows some dust off of it and very gingerly slides her palm across the cover. Yeah, this is, yep. And ever so carefully opens it and begins looking through it. And a few moments pass before she speaks again. Holding up the coin near the page, she nods. The Sahedrin ritual. It, was something used in the ancient empire and predating it as well, I believe. Meant to the symbol is inscribed onto a creature of a specific sin and upon their death, their soul is harvested and absorbed by the entity, causing it to become more powerful. So, yes, she looks up towards you, Holly. It is very possible to harvest a soul for greed.
So, so this thing
So-
is stockpiling souls to get buff.
If it's not imprisoned, but for whatever reason hasn't left the island, as you've said, it's quite possible that it's gathering strength so that it can take over again.
Ah,
So then this Mistress of Seven, that group, they're trying to make him strong enough?
Seems likely. Although that name, the Mistress of Seven, and she looks back down through the book. That doesn't appear anywhere, and she resummons the scroll and writes something out, and the scroll disappears and then reappears, and it doesn't seem to exist in our archives. I don't know what that is.
so that's something new.
Interesting. Would he grant? Would he work with different groups? This creature? I mean, I guess he would work with. Could he provide them with power? For his.
It had armies before. All manner of creatures.
I wonder if this is a new group that has been seduced by powers. Creature seems, or they think could offer them.
She shrugs. Wouldn't be the first people seduced by power.
Oh my god. Emmy twitches her head confused. Doesn't say anything.
You okay, Amy? You want to contribute?
Emmy would just look to Holly. She said seduced by power. I was under the impression seduction was a sexual thing.
Fucking god, Emmy.
I fucking knew that was it.
Emmy doesn't know these things!
I know.
Yeah.
Hold on, I wanna try and answer this. Humans are very funny creatures. The line between power, authority, and sex all kind of get blurred quite often.
Mars's head whips around with a frown, just like, what?
Emmy
I'm not
would.
saying.
Yeah, no, because all you hear is what Polly says.
That's
Yeah, that's
quite a
the question
specific
mark.
thing to
There-
say,
there's-
Holly.
There's a pause, and then in your mind you hear, "It is much the same in the animal world. I can understand this." Because I mean, it is.
Hmm.
Do we need to have a talk, Holly?
I mean, some people will do anything for power, and then when they have that power, they'll use it to feed whatever corruptions they have. I mean, that's just how the world works.
Me would be again silent, considering, and then in your mind, thank you.
But I can't help but wonder if Nualia could have been saved. Like if she had had the right intervention before she got to that point of murdering a town.
Difficult to say, though technically she is still alive, I think.
Yeah. We'll have to find her at some point, but
Holly, in
yeah.
your mind, you would hear such acts of utter violence and devastation are not instinctual. They are learned. If she had been gotten to in time, I imagine she could have been different.
Well, she was lashing out at those around her. Maybe if we can find out who this Mistress of Seven and who these brothers are using to find their victims, maybe we can intervene. If that letter, it said if Aldern didn't remember that he could go to his townhome in Haida and her agents would find him there. When we learn more about this ritual of everything else, maybe we can learn who this group is. Maybe they'll know more about they're starting. You had said something about morals before.
Who did?
Naomi had said something about the star, and she had mentioned something about morals.
Morals?
I thought maybe I'm wrong.
Mortals?
Maybe that's what you said.
Yeah.
Memorials?
Okay.
Yeah, just that they were using and abusing mortals.
Oh, okay. I heard that wrong. I was thinking of like virtues and.
Well, I mean, it's to say they would also be using and abusing morals at that point.
Mhm.
Yeah, probably.
And so I was making the leap from like greed and morals and seven deadly sins.
No, I want to hear this.
What's in the
Well,
box?
If Aldrin was greed,
Mm-hmm.
what would Nualia have been? I mean, I feel like she envied the town's freedom. And the town envied her angelic side.
Although
And that
her getting back at them was wrath. Absolutely.
Mars nods.
but she first destroyed what they were envious of.
She destroyed what she hated.
Yes.
which she viewed as having wronged her. I don't
Mhm.
think that's necessarily envy.
That's true. Maybe she was wrath.
The sin of being goth. Get the.
Guys, you're next.
Are they- I don't know where they would start on the list of sins or which ones would be next.
Well, there doesn't necessarily have to be an order of things. They could all be going all at once, working towards their own goals.
Sure. Hmm. So, what other questions do we have? What is there a specific marking that would go with greed? And did those victims, our victims, have that? Are there other markings with different 7 deadly sins that we could look for on?
If I remember correctly, O benevolent God, you said that the symbol on the dude at the sawmill, the marking on his chest was exactly the same as the ones just normally put on bodies in Moloch, correct?
Yeah, the only symbols that you've seen on bodies or otherwise is just the 7-pointed star.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I believe it's all the same. They're just perhaps looking for specific emotions.
Well, how could we get this group to tell us more?
We
Hey,
would need to get one of them first. We do have the architects, but well, several of the architects, but I don't know how much information they would have of the overall plan. We would have to ask very specific questions, and also, she turns to Naomi. You wouldn't happen to have speak with Dad, would you?
As I pull up her character sheet.
Look, you forgot those guys. I mean, we also have the bat head demon, but I don't know how much information that will give either.
Oh yeah, the
Vargwheel.
Vargwheel. Hey, you remembered it. Nice.
I remember.
I have it labeled as bat head demon thing in my bag. So,
Vargwheel.
Yeah, that checks out.
nice.
Burn, if you didn't already have inspiration, I would have given it to you just now.
Aw.
But Naomi would shake her head. That's not the sort of magic that I'm proficient with.
oh. I mean, we can always go back to the Orium. I suppose they would have someone available again. But that's not really something that we can do in the immediate.
I mean, Okay. Maybe if we move to a new topic, that might help us. So, about getting guys out of swords.
What?
Yeah. So a friend of ours, touched a
Oh,
sword and got trapped inside.
Mm-hmm.
Paige might have mentioned it to you previously.
Oh, that's she sort of shakes herself out the stupor. The Goliath.
Yeah, the Goliath.
All right. Right. Yes, and you needed some way to extract him.
Yes, if you. Mars will take out her sketchbook, start flipping through the pages, and go to the page where she very carefully took a rubbing of the hilt of the sword.
Yeah, the rune. Naomi will look them over. And I'm gonna roll myself a thing. Okay, not bad. Runes of binding. Alright. So he bound himself to a sword.
Yeah.
Accidentally? I'm actually not entirely sure how he managed to do it.
It was kind of impressive, to be honest.
I think he just kind of looked at it.
Picked it up.
Yeah.
Well, no, he definitely said something.
Oh, I didn't hear him.
Didn't he say something? I'm pretty sure he said something.
Yeah, I definitely did the 20 voice.
Yeah.
You probably read it.
Maybe.
Don't
Wasn't
read
there
this
a voice
ancient
in there
enchantment.
too?
Yeah.
Yes, it does speak.
Weird.
Very unpleasant.
Well, yeah. Typically, if a creature is bound to an item, it becomes sentient.
No, I believe that the sword was sentient prior to 20.
That.
God damn, I keep wanting to say it's 20.
It's 20.
20. He bound himself to an item that was already bound.
Or at least occupied, I'm not entirely sure.
You
but
see our confusion.
The item, yeah, the item spoke to me. It wasn't 20 or 20. It was the sword itself. It seemed very displeased. I believe it had intentions of binding something or someone else, but it bound 20 instead, and doesn't know how to unbind him.
Well, binding and unbinding are rather simple if you know what you're doing, but granted that there are now two beings bound, it could be complicated picking out the specific one.
Right. So you're saying if we don't do it right, we could get pieces of 20 and pieces of somebody else?
Or entirely the wrong person.
Among other outcomes.
Okay. So don't mess with the
This
sword.
is something that I would certainly suggest doing carefully and taking the time to make sure that it's done properly. Um. uh, right. Was there anything else that, you all had questions about for, anything down here?
I
Or,
do, yes. Though they are mostly questions that you have already asked yourself. What am I? How do I exist? What is my past? I doubt these books will contain that last one, but perhaps the first one.
oh, very good questions. I did mean about this room specifically, but, yes. Uh, you are some sort of a hybrid, a chimera of sorts. I would have to do a lot of studying
Well, I
to.
ask because we are referring to a person being inside another thing. That is exactly what I am, is it not? Are they related, perhaps?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know enough about either situation really to make any assumptions.
Well, perhaps we can look into one while we search about the other.
Um, Naomi, you said there wasn't anything about the mistress of the seven. Was there anything about brothers of the seven?
Um.
You know those gender restrictions.
Once again, the scroll appears and she writes something out, and it disappears. And then reappears. She shakes her head.
It's worth a shot. Wonder what Aldern was in debt for.
Changing him, I would imagine. You saw what the last attempt at undeath looked like. Though not from him.
So if we were to try and find that group he was working with, maybe say that one of us was interested in changing, living the everlasting life.
That might. We should probably discuss that when we have more information about the group itself, but it is certainly an option. If not a dangerous one. Um, there, hmm. She pauses for a moment. There's one other thing. There is another thing. It's, technically unrelated, but I don't imagine that it would, be anywhere else in the building. There's something, if you wouldn't mind me looking into it, or you looking into it, or I suppose both of us could look into it together if you wanted to. But there is something that follows me, referred to as a pale thief. I don't know if you would know anything of that.
Hmm? Shit. You didn't see it because it was whispered, but I just rolled a 26. For Arcana. That's fun. Naomi watches you for a moment as I pull up the sheet for your thing. The Pale Thief. Mm. Oh, Kavatu Varis.
Isn't I?
No, that's the actual name for the creature. The Pale Thief is more layman's terms.
Oh,
What did you say? What's it called?
Kavatu Varis. Let me post that in chat for you guys.
yes.
Yeah.
Huh. What is a Kavatu Varis?
I actually studied it a little bit. What information we had for something I was writing. It's a creature that is a sort of parasite. It is simultaneously born at the same time as its host, while also existing for eons prior. It guides the host and Mars as she speaks. All you can hear as it sort of drowns out in your ears is the sound of a music box starting to play.
So she can't hear a damn thing right now.
Mm-mm.
Awesome.
What does Holly learn?
The rest of you, whoever is there, learn that the creature will... It uses various tactics. Among them, luring the host into a false sense of comfort, or hiding itself until the perfect moment for it to strike its final blow, among other things. It causes numerous symptoms, including nightmares and sleepwalking and various strange happenings to occur around the host. Let me find the rest of this for you, because it is a lot. No mortal really knows the origin of the creature, nor if there's really only one or multiple. As it seems to be everywhere and nowhere. Why did my music box stop? Keep going.
I don't wanna.
So, the Kavatuvarus, whether by choice or by some terrible fate, is bound for life to what is generally called a soulmate, a humanoid companion. This bond first becomes apparent at some crisis in the companion's life, often a life-threatening injury or illness or something of the like. They become aware of a presence at the very edges of their perception. I need to turn this down. A pair of eyes watching them, or a ghostly form moving through the ethereal mist 1,000 miles away, but they're still aware. From the moment of bonding, the thief is never gone, only distant. The companion can always feel their presence. From what was written, I believe they sense moods and occasionally desires as well. The creature longs to be near, but fate, so it says, keeps them separated. Like anyone's true love in times of greatest need, she is always there. And the lower her companion ebbs, the nearer she draws. Whether it's a source of strength and comfort or of terror is sort of unclear. But what is certain is that she shows herself more and more as the end approaches.
Okay. And is there any way to get rid of it? To sever that connection? To move that connection?
Let me think. There's the information about it. There was... Oh, what was there? There was that nursery rhyme that was there. There was the story... Severing the connection. Where was... Yes. Although not the most pleasant of ways.
Okay.
The... As the pale thief only grows closer and appears when the host grows nearer to their end, steals their soul away so that they can be together. I don't know what happens to the soul after that, but it is possible, I suppose, theoretically, that if you were quick enough and were able to follow the creature to its home on the ethereal plane and were to get rid of it before whatever happens to the soul happens, you could, in a sense, return the soul to the body, thus freeing the host of the connection.
So, after the host has died, when the Pale Thief has the soul, you could sever the connection by killing the Pale Thief?
If it can be killed, no one's tried or succeeded, as far as I'm aware. But it's again, this is only a theory. It's none of this is.
Absolutely, I understand. Sometimes child stories, children's rhymes are better than nothing if that's all you have.
You've not even heard the stories or rhymes yet.
Oh, goody.
I do have those memorized if they matter at all. But anyways, yes.
You said you had the stories memorized?
Yes. I thought they might be relevant at some point to writing down a portion of the compendium. Then I thought that well, I had to narrow it down, and certain creatures just couldn't be involved. But that's not relevant. Yes, I have it. I have it memorized.
Could I possibly get to see your notes or anything you have? Any information. Anything you could give me would be helpful.
I don't believe I have any of it written anymore. But the story that I found was the tale of Gerard, Earl of Renan.
Earl of Renan?
I put it in chat for you.
Okay.
The story was told of a human noble who believed himself stalked by an evil spirit. He believed that it fed off of his every calamity, and so he devoted considerable wealth to the wellness of body and spirit. For many years, he pursued immortality through physical exercise and a healthy diet and positive alchemy. At last, he declared gleefully that he had starved his tormentor to death, for he had ceased to feel its presence. He maintained this belief until well into his 14th decade, when a particularly cold, damp winter brought a sniffle to the nose and a tingle to the throat and a flush of heat to the temple. And as he slowly fell victim to the consumption, he began raving about a soul thief that had returned for him once again. The servants who had long winked and nodded about his eccentricity heard disturbing rumor of sightings throughout the manor, a flash of ghostly white, a chill presence. until one fateful morning, the chamberlain and 2 serving maids entered to find the lord simply gone, and in his bed sat a smiling figure calmly licking her fingers.
So, she didn't even take his soul back anywhere. To the ethereal plane, she just ate it there?
Well, I'm more or less paraphrasing. The entirety of the story is much more long-winded, but she had stolen him, and after consuming him in whatever way it was that she does, the host's body disappears, which is why after a point they can no longer be reconnected, and she simply returned for whatever reason. I suppose waiting until the next connection? I don't know.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. As far as the nursery rhyme, it's titled, oh dear. It's titled Schrodinger, Mad Magister. How did it go? The alchemy box was lidded and locked, the poor little kitty inside. While it remains closed, nobody knows if she is even alive. The volatile mage, love, madness, and rage infused in the magical pot. When opened at last, the master aghast found that she was and was not. The creature is a pile of contradictions. Alive, not alive, infernal, celestial, it's... Nothing about it makes sense.
Right. Nothing about it makes sense. Thank you.
Of course.
Mars? Did you hear any of that?
Does Mars hear anything right now?
You hear the music crescendo.
Holly will reach out and grab Mars' hand.
Oh, she is clutching at her head.
Mars? You there?
Mars, I want you to roll me a con save.
Oh, goody. I'm so good at those. Oh, I'm actually proficient.
And it gets to be at
Oh.
disadvantage. Oh, honey.
Okay, I guess I'll roll the other one in public. Hey!
Alright. So, as it almost gets to just absolutely blaring inside your head and all around you simultaneously, you feel for a moment like you're going to pass out before it stops.
Are you okay, Mars?
Huh?
You okay?
Sorry, I am. I'm not sure what happened.
Amy will look at Holly and in her mind say, she does this from time to time. I cannot know what she is thinking.
Usually it's the cat doing something to her.
She will look kind of a little embarrassed to Naomi. I'm terribly sorry. I didn't actually hear any of your explanation.
You don't have anything to be sorry for. That wasn't your choice. But I took notes.
Oh, thank you, Holly.
Mm-hmm. Are you back with us now?
I mean, I didn't technically go anywhere.
Well, you. Physically, no, you didn't go anywhere, but you were
Oh,
definitely preoccupied.
She rubs the side of her head a little bit, kind of pressing gentle circles at her temple. I think I'm fine. The music was just a little loud.
The music in your head?
She pauses for a moment, almost seems to realize exactly what she said. I suppose so.
That's kind of clever of them. All right.
Really quick. Holly, I'd like you to roll me a D100.
Why? Whatever did I do?
Okay, 83.
This is why Emmy doesn't have revelations. They're dangerous.
Holly's like, here, let me rub your temples. Is this better? Does this help your headache?
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
okay.
lovely. Holly, as
Mhm.
you reach out to attempt to rub Mars's temples, Mars, you get a static shock as you take. Oh, come on. As you take 8 points of lightning damage.
Jesus!
Holy
Wow.
shit!
I take 8 damage?
Mm-hmm. As
Oh,
Holly
fuck me.
shocks you as she grabs you.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had that much static electricity.
No, it's all right. And she takes a step back. It's fine.
Oh,
Is Emmy a poof ball?
Yeah, your hair does definitely stand on end.
Yeah.
Both her and Mars, their hair is just like. Oh, Mars has so much fucking hair.
Just Bride of Frankenstein in it over here.
That's what you get for wearing them flowy. Listen. She will take a step back and kind of try and pull her hair back into a ponytail and then sighs and just starts braiding it. It's gonna take a while. It's fine. I'll drink some water or something. It'll be fine. Does she feel like a specific direction? Do they feel close right now?
They are right on top of you, essentially, and everywhere nearby.
Awesome. Cool.
And this thing is
Mhm.
pissed.
So, yeah, she will take a further step away from Holly and kind of shrink in on herself a little bit. Maybe we should move on. I apologize.
Sorry, it's my fault.
No, I was the one who asked.
Perhaps, should we go back upstairs?
Did anyone else have any questions that they needed to ask?
Not for down here.
Amy shakes her head.
So, I appreciate all your helpful information, Naomi. May we contact you in the future if we have further questions?
Yes, yeah, of course. Yes.
Thank you.
We should, if there's nothing else for down here, we should go back up.
Right after you. Lead the...
And she will lead you all back up.
Yeah.
Hours of operation turn the settings well. Bold of you to assume that she has regular hours.
I actually assumed she didn't.
Naomi is that college kid who is awake in the library purely off of Red Bull and coffee.
You wouldn't know anything about that.
I wouldn't. I don't like either.
Oh, man. Chicken biscuit and Blue Rock Star got me through orgochemistry and biochemistry at 8 a.m.
Oh, boy.
The blue rock stars are amazing.
I can't find them anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I stopped drinking energy drinks because do bad things to my body, so that's probably why I can't find them.
Probably for the best.
Not like you're looking for anything.
So she leads you back through the upper floor of the archives, and unless you stop her, back into the main library.
Oh, my thing is, it can be
Oh,
public.
yes. It can be public, or do you want to do it private?
It can be public. I don't care.
Sure. I had forgotten about that. So, before we do that, then, as Gaius has a little tidbit, she will lead you all through a separate hall in the upper floor of the archives. And we're going to pick up with that next time.
Ooh. Okay.
Mm.
Cool.
You guys have unlocked new core information.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh man, level up?
Some more than others.
Yes,
Yeah?
level up.
Wait,
Oh
really?
shit! Really?
Yes.
Oh shit!
Oh hell yeah!
I gotta try this again next week.
Wait,
I didn't know it was that easy.
Why
what
do you-
level are we?
We're
7.
going to be level 7.
Why do you think I was
Now?
so excited for you guys to leave court.
Uh,
Not only
uh,
were you going to advance in the main story and get new side characters, you're going to level up.
I'm gonna need more creatures.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Squee.
I unlock CR2.
Hell yeah.
Oh shit.
You
Yay.
addict.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Well,
Oh no, she's gonna have to have her growth spurt again.
who?
Emmy.
Emmy.
Oh, that's right.
She's gonna have, just
Oh.
like every other time, she's gonna start randomly wild shape. Oh god, I hope it's in front of Natalia.
Oh no.
In front of who?
I'm sorry, not Natalia. You know, our new NPC friend whose name I can't remember.
Naomi?
Naomi, thank you.
Oh.
Ah, that'd be cool.
I was like, are you saying Naomi? Nualia? Is there
No,
somebody
no,
else I don't know?
Are you
I want
talking about
Naomi.
Isabella and you're just way off?
I want Naomi because I want to see her try and write it all down.
Right?
Oh, hell yeah.
But it's
Do the wild shift stuff. Ooh. Ah, that'd be interesting.
Naomi's a scribe. She's got this.
Yeah, man. She can do shorthand and then translate in her
She's
shorthand.
writing with one hand, and then she's got another pen in her mage hand that is also writing in a different book.
Exactly.
Well, thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I get 4th level spells.